results. Yeah, they've lost them, but it was a 0-7 to NIP, then a 5-7 to Black Dragons. Maybe today they go 7-something against the Switch Miners, right? They get some points on the board, and they can get happy about not losing for once and whatnot. But yeah, I just want to see. I think for both teams, I just want to see good fundamental gameplay, right? I want to see them try and fix like those very basic mistakes that we keep seeing kind of reoccurring in the previous games. And guess I'll commend Miners because they've been playing a couple of maps now. They played Bank, then Labs, Chalet, and now Labs again. So while they have been struggling across the board, they're struggling in different places and getting valuable experience.
I suppose there is something to be happy about, that at least you're trying out different maps, you're working out different things, whereas, as you pointed out, Los One have only played Skyscraper so far, so maybe that will affect things, and at least for Los One, they at least have a good result in a 5-7 loss. A loss, sure, but one that is significantly closer than the Miners' record so far. But at the same time, Los One's fate is not entirely in their hands. They are very much hoping that FaZe lose their next game to Black Dragons, otherwise FaZe might very well move too far ahead, and Los One won't have a chance to catch back up. Bans have now transpired, and Bandit is very much seeming like it is one of the default bans on Nighthaven Labs so far. He has been a very common ban inside of NA on Nighthaven, and at least in this game, appears to be a similar story.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you are our very own professional, most experienced caster on Nighthaven Lab. So do you see Bandit kind of play out the same way on Nighthaven Lab as also like Skyscraper, whereby banning out the Bandit, breaching walls becomes more passable in general and just simplifies things, or how does that play out?
I definitely think it does in theory. I think it's hard for me to confidently say yes because it's also a new map, so the attacks aren't always the cleanest. But I think the effect of banning the Bandit, specifically on, say, the second floor bomb site, you're really able to open up the Terrace Breach very easily. And then getting the Connector Breach is a little bit more difficult just because it might be Impact Trick or C4 or something like that. Mainly Impact Trick. The C4 isn't as viable. So I would say it's definitely easier and for opening up the exterior breaches, but the interior breaches, there are still quite a bit of things that the defense can do to stop the attack from opening it up. So while it does make it easier, I still wouldn't say it makes it completely easy.
And then I gotta keep kind of pushing here for my own notes, right? What's the kind of bomb site rotation that we tend to see? Because, yeah, it's a new map, and this will likely change over the next couple of weeks and months as teams learn the map more. But so far, in the 6 times you've casted, what tends to be the primary bomb site?
So I would say the primary bomb site is usually one of either the second floor or the basement. However, I don't think there's a clear favorite in terms of the most preferred bomb site. So while we see teams normally start on one of those two, either the second floor or the basement, I'm actually surprised at how often Cargo has been picked so far. Not that it's a bad bomb site, but I thought it would be the second floor and the basement as the clear 2 favorites, Cargo as like the definite middle, and then like 50 feet of nothingness, and then Kitchen and Cafe all the way at the bottom. But Cargo has actually been picked pretty often in comparison to the second floor and the basement as well. But Kitchen is definitely the least preferred bomb site by a wide margin. And the other 3 are all pretty equal, I would say.
That's interesting because I was trying to kind of theorize based off rank play and whatnot. I mean, you only play, as well know, you play 3 rounds, you swap sides, etc.
Yeah.
So unless you go flawless, you don't tend to play a lot of, different bomb sites really. You go top floor, you go basement, usually that's it. You don't see those tertiary bomb sites. Kitchen being the least picked, from like a glance, I was surprised by it because I feel like it has so much map you can work with. But at the same time, sometimes that's just too much for some teams, right? And the meta, of course, being very undefined. We're gonna see different teams do new things, and maybe even with bomb set rotations, what operators they bring, and more importantly, how these teams are going to be doing on their attack, where they start things off. For Lowe's, they love intel. So I think droning will be a big part of how they're gonna try and find success in these rounds. They have a couple of ways to do that. For example, the air jabs. That's gonna, once they take map control, gonna give you intel if somebody's flanking. That air jab will either get shot, impacted, or of course pop off, giving you a sound cue that a flank is coming around. And of course, the drone network, very crucial to the attack inside. And those have only lost a singular drone so far, so 9 left alive.
And this bomb site in particular, if Los One are very good with their drones, this is the site that usually comes the closest to necessitating a full clear. We don't really see teams clear the entirety of Nighthaven. Most teams will go for a half clear, but just given how big the map is, a half clear on Nighthaven might honestly equal a full clear on Chalet. That's just how large the map is. But if Los One are good with their drones, this should not be the hardest roam clear imaginable. Cameraman will start to move to cut off one of the roamers sitting inside a lounge. Basetto playing aggressively on the cargo stairs. Will fall back soon after. No droning on the map yields any kills. Instead, it's a C4 from below inside of the bomb site that takes down Lobin, the Buck, not the only soft breacher, but the rest will have to be done with those Ram Boogie drones.
And you see, that's the thing, right? It's a big map, a lot of roam clear, and you're fighting vertically as well because of all that soft floor. It's the same reason why we see Lowe's bring out both the Bug and the Ram, because there's so much soft destruction required and necessary for this bomb set attack, and all these things are being done, but no actual gunfight engagements has occurred yet. It's kind of like an Oregon Basin where you gotta set up all your pieces, get in their position, and in 3, 2, 1, you execute on that bomb site, and then all hell breaks loose. Only so that C4 could go out. Still seeing that util phase for the attack inside of Lowe's, and Netshoo's miners who sit back, kind of wait for things. They got intel, we saw it there. The Black Eye Valkyrie camera.
I will say I do like Netshoes Miner's strategy. 5 C4s to deal with all of this vertical play. And 30 seconds left too, with 3 of those remaining. This is a very good spot to find themselves in, with Los One still struggling to find direct entrance into the bomb site. It's now pushing down some of these stairways. Dots has moved in with the diffuser, but all the angles are still alive for Miners, but no one's dealing with it. They're also focused on the cargo side. The Thermite just creeps in, puts the bomb down, and backs out almost as soon as he entered. I was able to get a 4v4 too. Now the next mission is for Dash to stop this retake up to the top floor. SDK moving on in. He does have that SMG-11 for close quarters. He backs off. He doesn't commit to the retake in cargo. This is valuable time being wasted, especially as cameraman starts to move forward on that top floor as well. Dash does spot him, but he just needs to play passively. Taking this gunfight isn't an absolute necessity. Once he takes it, he falls soon after. Huge play from Maya and cameraman, and down inside of the bomb site, that's where the vast majority of the work is being done. STK now pretty much all alone. His hope's now gone. Might have taken a long time, almost the entirety of the round, but a very efficient plant and subsequent post-plant from Los One.
Not just effective, but it was a complete, like, sneak play, right? Like, nobody knew that this was actually happening. All the defenders were looking up at the vertical floor, looking at cargo, those back staircases, the hatches, and while that's happening, Los just kind of snuck in the back, that single wall that was opened up, or the hatch rather, either or, just walk in, plant on that reinforced wall between the bomb sites, and that's it. The post plant, you got vertical on it, you got the bomb site itself, of course, and the defenders had to run into the attacker's lines of sight. And the Nomad came into great effect as well, because they went for that half map clear where, yeah, you clear out the roamers, you make them fall back to the bomb site, set up those air jabs, and if you can get a plant down, it's very hard to go for the flank. It's why we saw the Mute kind of make that rotate in the soft panel instead, because there was an air jab on the door itself. You couldn't walk on in, you heard the little tingling sound that it makes, the air jab that is. You just thought, you know what? I gotta spend the next 5 seconds and 4 shotgun shells making it rotate in this annoying wall next to the door because there's an air jab.
Los One do plan to keep on playing retakes. Maybe not on this bomb site, but other ones that Nomad will certainly be useful to make sure that you have that verticality secured and that the defense do have to make those awkward rotations to move around it. Of course, we have moved up to the second floor bomb site. Miners deciding they don't want to retry the basement, despite seemingly starting off with a decent opening that quickly was lost soon after. I will say, a bit of an odd play from Miners so far. Now I was about to say, is the Legion holding Garage? That'd be a little bit exposed, especially with no Wamai on the board and the Azami being banned, but might be a symptom of that Azami being taken off the board. Garage is overall just a bit more tricky to hold. That is a key position on this bomb site, especially once the IT breach is open. That's often the next line of defense to stop the attack just from walking in and directly pressuring the bomb site. So even if there's not a lot of utility, Neskin does have to play very well here.
So yeah, a nice return for an operator that we don't see very often. Maverick, of course. We see this in rank play, and I love it too, because, you know, used to be a big meta operator, and he lost the grenades and kind of fell into the bottom pit of pick rate, but on maps like Skyscraper, maps like Nighthaven Lab, where it can be difficult to get those walls opened up, we do tend to see Maverick get a little bit of play again. And again, with IT being open, Connector being opened, all of a sudden, Netshoes Miners, they're more and more limited in good playable positions on site, the bomb site itself. The question now is, where are you going to enter from as Los One? Are you going to try and take Catwalk? Because Neskin just reinforced off that wall, and the run out, well, it is successful, but Garage has been weakened. The wall being reinforced off means that the attackers can now easier walk in, there are less crossfires for the defensive side. Once Los drones that out, they might just take Garage for relatively free.
That could solve a lot of their problems too, as the connector side of things. Miners have actually done a decent job at wasting time. The Ace had already used most of his Selmas to open up the terrace wall. Miners had a pocket reinforcement ready to seal off the rotate between connector and the bomb site itself, so taking garage might just be their only option at this point. STK has some great intel, sees the diffuser outside, but does he know about the Maverick? Yes, he does, able to get that kill, but not before he's traded out. That's fine, though. 4v3, the Solus able to get 2 kills on both hard breachers entirely. After their work's done, sure. Still making a 4v3, looking great so far. For Team droning might be their strength. Los Wonder just walking into these crosshairs for the Miners. While the attack has secured garage control, as you predicted, with 40 seconds to spare, the roamers from the defense have already done so much damage to the entirety of the attack setup. It's looking very difficult now for Lost One to find a way back into this. C4's flying out. Actually not reinforced off the rotate into connector. They're still playing it completely, and that ends up benefiting their overall take despite the garage control gained by Los One. Excellent kill achieved by Loban, but they got to win the fight with the person to their right of them in connector, and indeed they do. Nice shot by Maya, and they both know somebody's likely playing this connector wall. They can anticipate this next gunfight. The crossfire might not work out. Levy's able to rotate onto the pillar, go 1 for 1. Now with not enough time remaining, Maya's either got to get lucky on this diffuser or fall off and get the kill. He decides to commit. No, falls off and dies to Paceto. Miners now evened it up 1-1.
That is so close, given how poor the attack was, right? They don't really get carriage control with enough players alive, and they're kind of just walking around the map, not really knowing where the defenders are going to be. We saw IQ just kind of skedaddling around off dash, not having any intel to work with, and STK with a double jump out on the same window, finding 2 kills. That really shouldn't be happening, but that's the difficulty of a big map. There's so much ground to cover. We saw Los open up that connector wall early in the round, and yet, at the very end of that round, the defenders are comfortably playing right next to that open wall because they know the attackers can simply not be everywhere on the map. So the 2 members alive and they're both on that garage side of things. That means that the back side, the connector walls, they're going to be clear. So keeping your attacking members alive is very important all of a sudden because there are so many angles. The more attackers you have alive, the more respect the defenders have to pay to the possibility of where they could be playing at. So just staying alive and keeping those numbers up will already get you quite far on the attack. Nature's Miners, they're 2 for 2 in opening kills so far.
That's a stat that if they can keep up, they might make up for their poor defensive win rate in the stage so far. Going into this game, I'm correct. I was talking about this with Nick because I was very surprised to see this. Only 1 defensive win before Nighthaven Labs throughout the entirety of the stage to get that 7%. So they've already doubled the amount of defensive rounds they've won so far. But if they can get that opening pick so consistently, a conversion is not at all too far of away of a logical possibility. Though here the problem was not the lack of an opening pick, not even the lack of early round pressure. Los One just crept on in and stuck the bomb down. It actually needs to be more intel or more eyes focused on the breaches on the bomb site itself. They do that. Second round, not at all unlikely.
No, it's not at all. I like this different approach from Los. They've kind of spread more thin. We see the sledge on that kitchen hatch about to drop down and try and roam through the top portion because the roam is active. And Mitty very much looking for an engagement here. Impact goes out, creates more lines of sight, and by holding the top floor, they can shut down the first floor and therefore not allow Los to do vertical play. And now they have the blitz running on in, trying to shut down that roam, but Dots falls first, and then she's managed with another opening kill.
Ooh, and the trade denied as Neskin just barely shields himself around the corner. There's a player from Los One quickly trying to follow up though. There's moving to the cargo window and another one moving to the cargo door itself, but neither can find Neskin before he's retreated into security. He's F-Not still in play as well. He's got one as backup to cut off the avenue by which he himself escaped. Good utility setup from Netshoes Miners so far. And Midi 2 on this roam, something you need to be worried about with his double jump out from round 2 that we just saw a few minutes ago. Also has the garage control to spot these drones, but another time now, Loban and Los One have crept on in. They know there's a C4, but this time it missed. However, STK, as he tries to swing, there's coverage. Loban can't hit the flick, though. They might let the bomb go down, but the advantage gained early, and now a very solid retake so far. Likely still result in a win for Miners. Mize picked up 1. He's got to get this second, though. Every kill now, an absolute necessity, and indeed it lands.
Oh, no.
The site hollowed out now. The defense has to jump down. This is another 5 to 10 seconds delayed. He'll hit the swing, but no. Luck finally runs out. The bomb might go down again with nary a resistance from Miners, but they take the lead off of a successful retake.
2 rounds on defense already for them, and the fact that Lowe's keep just sneaking into the bomb site in different corners and getting the plant down is very impressive, but the post plant is tough to work with, especially in a 1v5 or a 2 versus 5. It's, yeah, you're outside the building and you're thinking, back to good old like consulate days of basement bank, or sorry, basement on consulate. You can be all the way out and it's so hard for defenders to find you. But the thing about Night Haven Lab, yeah, you're outside the building, but you're not that far out, so the lines of sight without the zoom scope is not too bad to deal with. And again, there are 5 defenders left. The first guy's going to give you your position, the second guy's going to take some damage off your health bar, and then by the third or fourth, you're pretty much guaranteed to fall.
So good. Lowe's have done a good job reading opportunities so far, but now that their one kind of play that got them a win on attack has failed, need to look to something more. Certainly looking to Maya, 8-2 so far, but otherwise it's been a rough showing from the rest of the gang over on Lowe's up until this point. Maybe Cargo will bear some more fruit though. The Solus continues to be at least a potential issue, if not an outright one. Spotting these Lowe's drones, able to take down some attackers outside the building too. And starting this round actually, Lowe's already down to 4 drones before we've even hit the action phase. Rough go at it so far from a team, especially on Night Haven with how large it is. You can tell you need as much of it as you can get.
Yeah. Also, speaking of performances, I mean, Dash is 0-3 right now, and he has been the best performing player from Lost so far in terms of kills and rating overall, and he's already found his stride so far against the Choose Miners. And again, the issue is just that you're not always going to be a part of the action because there's so much map to work with. Someone's got to join in your entries, someone's got to hold the flanks, and there are so many moving parts right now. And I truly think the way that Choose Miners are effectively running around the map, roaming, and again, just here, applying bits of pressure, opening windows and doors, and you see this right now from Dash. They're afraid of window jump outs. They're afraid of getting peeked out and getting caught off guard. That early aggression we saw in round number 1 and round number 2 from the Choose Miners, it's mentally paying off in their favor. It's gonna slow down Lowe's a bit more in this round, I reckon.
Winning the mental game this early on too, when you still have quite a few defenses to go, that's good for Miners. If they're forcing Lowe's to be patient, forcing them to double check things or even take longer to clear out this map, that's only going to favor them. They can continue denying Lowe's the execute they've been seeking so far throughout this attacking half. Just now getting the Terrace Breach with a little over half the round to go. Lowe's are certainly taking their time. They spotted a couple of the defenders. STK taking quite a bit of damage. Still very much in the wind. Not a lot of these positions have yet been countered. Lowe's are only just now starting to get into positions to deal with them.
I see the next step is going to be coming from, because a bit of a lack of inside the building presence from Lowe's, and we see Choose Miners very proactively moving around the map, and whenever a wall gets opened up or a window or a door, they're relocating their resources and manpower to try and deal with that accordingly. We see now Baseto working the magic of Fenrir's gadget, enabling some, disabling others, relocating where that pressure is going to be from defense and where to shut down the entries.
Oh, Dash. Oh. He's been so persistent on this window to try to find a cutoff, but nothing, even when it's presented itself, nothing has been successful. Levy just spots another moving up the garage stairs. A drone fell down pretty soon after, though, with that spray. Los know he's there. That knowledge isn't really doing Los much. They've not followed up on any of this information. They spot the smoke further inside of the bomb site, but they're still so far away from securing him. The Buck in a good position up above to shut him down, but as one drops with the case, Levy's worked himself into the best position he could. Traded out Shore. That sparked even more fear in the hearts of Los. Baseto now holding down Cargo as long as he can. This is an easy kill if he can pick it up. Oh, but he sprints in the corner. Switches and prones. Huge misplay now as the attack can move into the bomb site with a smoke grenade to cover this specific angle. Nobody from Miners fighting back. Nobody landing the C4. Midi might throw it, but it goes far too wide. First advantage Los have had this entire game, and it comes with a post plant, and it comes with a 3v1. Eskin might be able to spot the diffuser, but the other 3 defenders who are now hiding, hoping he walks into their crossfire. That's a bit too tall a task at this point. Great recovery from Los as they've been able to move into Cargo, get the bomb down, and play a triple crossfire on this post plant. They're all tied up again.
Oh my god, the chaos in that round. There's just so many things happening at so many different areas off the map of that bomb site. And yeah, Baseto made a bit of a blunder there, right? Because he went for the reload and then he stopped it. He canceled the animation. What happens is that you get one singular bullet in the chamber and he realized it. So I sprinted to the corner, swapped to the secondary shotgun. I was like, I might not win. No, I'm not. I'm not winning this gunfight. And Dash takes him out. And that just gave Lowe's the exact entry that they needed in towards the bomb site itself that enabled them to get that plant down. That's 3 plants in 4 rounds for Lowe's. Despite only winning 2 of those 4, they're doing great at the objective play of the game. Yeah, they lost a lot of drones early on last round, lost 4 in prep phase, and it might have been why they're slowed down so much more early on. But once they actually had to speed things up, they all committed to it. Nobody was left standing outside the building. Nobody was like way off the plan there. They gave each other enough time to sync up to the same plan and the same objective, and that's why I think they're doing so good in these attacking rounds.
It's good to see that if they are so focused on getting this bomb down, it has been successful so far, but in a round that wasn't that basement bomb site, they had to fight tooth and nail for every inch to get that bomb inside of the building. And on second floor, this is where we saw that huge run out from the Solus STK, or MIDI, excuse me, back at that time. Might have been STK, actually. Either way, the Solus in round 2. Able to completely throw the attack off guard, install a hell of a lot of time, and get a huge man advantage for Lowe's, even really in a position to start executing, or at least executing comfortably. They're starting at a similar spot this time, looking to open up this terrace breach, and they'll succeed so far. Double EMP to stop the Electroclaw and a potential Electroclaw trick. Now this wall should be opened up fairly easily.
Very good job done. They actually read the Kite Claw perfectly because the second EMP near the top, we saw a claw being tossed out originally and actually stopped it from being tricked. Sure, one and someone would have gone off, but you want to get both of those charges to just get that vault on in. Macedo jumping out the window, takes a bit of damage, does a ton of damage, and Dots, he's alive for now, but only a tiny bit of health left in that bar, not doing too good. And the Bandit ban, I think it's quite smart. Of course, you can say that Netjuice Miners are starting defense, so they're kind of countering themselves and limiting their own options. But they'll swap sides eventually, right? And that's when Netjuice Miners can guarantee or increase at least their odds of getting those walls open the way that they see fit.
And so far, it's also generally worked when it has been that basement bomb site. They have done a very good job so far at forcing Los to plant or to execute onto the site either in man disadvantages or on very low time. So while the Bandit is a very strong option that they've denied themselves, the option they've rotated to, which is just using these roamers or even using these anchors to deny time, has been working pretty well so far. I mean, look at this, minute 10 seconds left, and I doubt Los even have STK as a thought in the back of their minds. Maybe that, his exact position, nailed down? I don't think so. Barrage control also still lackluster for Los, despite it still basically being free, all things considered. They're taking a lot of time on this attack, and that gives players like STK on the roam, even Neskin in a spot like Connector, great ability to disrupt the attack if they need to.
It does, and I mean, yeah, I'm surprised at how long it's taken to take the Rouse control because it's such a great spot for them to attack from, especially with the Oza shields, and they have no EMPs left, so now Maverick of Cameron's gotta try and open up, you know, past that bottom panel of the wall so you find the mute jammer, and the dude just step is gonna stall for more time, they're gonna take more damage, and Pesetto, he's got a good read on this rotate.
Oh, yeah, he knows. He sees one of them now. Oh, but the flank up Aqua Stairs does end up taking down the Fenrir. Maybe Los do now have a way into the bomb site. Midi's so focused on Garage. There's a 3-man push up into command that he might not be aware about. 5v3, make that 5v2 as the late push from Los works. STK's hitting that flank. He scared Loban. He's forced him to look back. Neskin got a huge kill on the very player watching the Aqua Stairs. Neskin's position ends up making the entire defense work, but not completely. On time, though, is what is able to close it out. Huge one singular kill from Neskin that enables STK's successful retake. Huge 2v2.
I mean, that is just beautiful. You also set up perfectly, right? You didn't think that Los were aware of STK's position inside, you know, the basement part of the map, and they had no idea. Sure, they figured out the flank was coming through, but then Neskin played that distraction on the side from Connect Door, from IT Door, shutting things down, getting that crossfire established. All of a sudden, Los, they're fighting 2 separate angles back to back, and they're also trying to plant at the same time. One of the weaknesses of trying to always be a plant-oriented team is that during that 7-second plant animation, you have 1 gun less to work with. You can almost argue there, if Lowe's weren't in a hurry to plant because they did have time on the clock, it was about 20 seconds left when they started, they could have solidified their position on the bomb site, taken a bit more control, stabilized, and then get maybe a guaranteed plant down. Instead, it was a Hail Mary. All right, stick that plant, hopefully it goes through, play the post plant, round is over. But STK just sprinted on in, shut it down with Neskin. Let's choose Miners. 3 defensive rounds now out of the last 5 rounds.
But they got to go to basement, and this has been the best bomb site for Los so far. Even if they haven't won it flawlessly, it's been the bomb site where they have gotten the bomb down the easiest, and that is clearly their win condition, almost dogmatically in their minds. Any other option seems to be second best in their opinion. They've been able to walk in the breach 2 times now and just get a plant down for free. I have to hope, if Miners want to 4-2, that they've accounted for this. They have the Electric Claws to deny time, and there are no secondary EMPs for Los, but there are plenty of vertical destructors that can get an angle on those Electric Claws, destroy them. So a half clear, still something that Los need to do, at least for the first half of this round.
And, I mean, you're spot on with the bomb site rotation, right? We've seen basement into top floor of server, into basement, then into cargo. So no kitchen to be seen as of yet. And I'm not going to say I'm disappointed we haven't seen it, because going to a new map in its own is difficult. Willing to play all 4 bomb sites at a tier 1 level immediately? That's a lot, yeah, exactly. I would not count on that.
Well,
what? Just walk on in, get the kill, but you fall down the hatch. Do you think that was intentional? Because I don't.
You know, is it more or less disrespectful if I say it's intentional? I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I honestly don't know which option that would be. Oh, well, that's a Dark Zero angle right there, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Cameraman holding a tight angle on an elevated surface outside the building. I think I probably saw NJR hold that very spot the other day. Maybe a little different one, but
I would honestly believe you. A DC would love to hold that rotate, just set things up, because they too are a very methodical team, relatively slow on pace, and I could see Cameron take a page out of their book. I could see some inspiration being brought out there.
I don't even necessarily mean that he copied it. I just meant like, yup, that's a DZ angle. Like I could see that one right there.
No,
and
exactly.
thankfully for Los, after able to recover with that kill on the levy, they are opening the breach, albeit very late. They've lost their Buck and their Ram, so a lot of that soft destruction falls entirely on Maya with those breach charges. And even just shooting guns through the floor. C4 goes out, though. Doesn't find Cameraman, and instead he actually finds a couple shots onto STK, who's looking to get a very quick peek onto that Nomad, but no shot lands, unfortunately. No C4 either, with that being used by STK. So if they want to deny this plant, it will have to be with guns and swing the diffuser, and they don't have a solid man advantage. Play that trade-off of Dots, though, opens up the assembly breach and then rotates into Animus. Cameraman does have some very limited verticality above to cut this bomb site in half. Instead, he'll try to push down cargo. A lot of missed shots both ways, but that allows the rest of the defense to cross. Dots has to fall off, does get the kill, spots the Cade close, but nobody able to get a solid advantage until Cameraman finally takes down Neskin. STK spotted them, but he's too low HP. Never mind. The revolver might just get it done. Winning on time, very much a possibility now, but 6 seconds, that's a long time. Cameraman could be able to swing. He's slowly creeping back, slowly baiting him further in, and he just manages to do it. Cameraman doesn't even have time to recover the diffuser. Miners end the half, 4-2.
Another clutch where ACK is one of the people alive in the round for his team, just playing it beautifully. You don't have to go for kills. We can get that 1v1, play down the time, punish Los for having a slow pace. And again, I think I have the same criticism for Los. They try and sneak in a plant, and they have one less gun to work with. Sure, he came off it, but they can do more. They could have just taken bomb site control and stabilized again and guaranteeing that plant to go down. I love the weapon swap prone pistol whip to get the 1v1 for SDK. He played that beautifully, and the panic was settling in for Los as well at that time. Let's use Miners. Yeah, they've only won a single defense before this game, but now they have 4 in a singular match. The big question is, can they attack just half as good as they were defending? Are Los as qualified on defense as Let's Choose Miners were? Because I think Let's Choose Miners had a good kind of theory going to this. Okay, Bandits banned, that was their choice. They probably prepped for it. Get very active on the roam. Get across the map. Great issues elsewhere. The only downside of being the team to like ban out the tricky operator that's kind of random, if you want to say it like that, or very specific, is that Let's Choose Miners banned the defensive operator and started defense. They've shown Los how to like navigate around that. Whereas if they had banned Bandit and Los to try and play like a regular style defense without the Bandit, they might just lose a ton of defenses. But now they know the roam is very important, they can kind of copy that, take that inspiration, and we already see Lopin and Dash on that top floor.
Loban and Dash both probably thinking to deny that garage position as speaking of, again, tools taken away from the defense, that Azami is a huge operator to hold down garage. Whether you're defending the second floor, or even if you're defending basement to try and stop the attack from getting this hatch and getting a very powerful vertical angle onto the bomb site, they'll have to defend it a bit more loosely, a bit more passively. Whereas with that Azami, you can play very aggressively and hold on to it firmly for the duration of the round until you're cleared. Oh, one of the... Is the site? Is the site all soft?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the wall was soft with the mirror window inside, and you saw the breaching charge tricks, instant Selma charge, and because there's no bandit and they're not playing, they actually didn't have a jammer on it, but I don't believe the EMP went out on it at least. Maybe it did.
That's a very peculiar set of circumstances. Maya finds a blitz in his face, opened up through a sledgehammer. STK falls back, though. He's got two different defenders to worry about. He decides the Mira is the one he wants to try to deal with. Seems like he might be able to get this one. Bonk! Down goes Maya. Back to a 4v4. And he saw the mute as well. They know there's another roamer on this middle floor. One's thrown out a C4, but it's too far away. The bullets will do the trick instead. Ash now able to fall back in the 4v3, but the sight angles are still very opened up for Miners. Baseto walks in, is able to cut down Loban from below. So while there are two players on the roam who have vertical angles to stall out the take, Miners have direct access to the bomb site.
Yeah, but the fuser's upstairs in midi, like the bomb site. Yeah, exactly. So the fuser case in the wrong what's it called? Part of this map, rather. So they get like bomb site presence slightly, but they can't act upon it because of that poor diffuser management. So midi's above. You got Levy on the side, Baseto's on his own, and now in this awkward like reset stage of the round where. What do we do now? Because the roam is still active, they got vertical deny as well, Dash is in that position, they can deny the breach. So that's just Miners in a very hard to problem solve position right now.
I think they've decided maybe they'll try to get Levy to rotate up, but no, instead he's going down exo stairs. Nobody really recovering the diffuser. Are they committing to sticking midi with the diffuser despite the open breach and the denied mirror window? Might be. Maybe instead they'll move in, get a plant around the corner. Oh, but midi, a key movement takes out the sledgehammer the moment the mute peaks. That's not his fault. He might not have known, but both remaining attackers are on such low HP. A critical misplay ending up costing Miners the round. Not only the sledgehammer, but the misallocated diffuser. Let's now have a defense layup in their hands. They've just got to put it in the basket, and it's nothing but net.
Fundamentals, the basics, that's what I want to see going into this game. Which team can kind of tighten it up and just kind of hit all those pressure points, right? Or the things that you gotta do in these rounds. I like the roam clear from Nature's Miners. They seem to have a pretty good plan going in. But the fact that midi then has the diffuser the entire time, when you have Thatcher and Ace right outside the bomb site walls and finding success on that portion of the map is very worrying to me. And they didn't seem to even realize because midi never rotated, and he could have, and he should have. But that's Los' basement defense. It's where, you know, it's where, arguably, I would say, across every single map that we typically see, the basement bomb site is often the easiest to defend because you don't have to worry about verticality from below you and above you. You know, nades below, a sledge above, whichever the case. You just all the way bunker down. You can still have a roam, ton of staircase or hatches to fall back with, a lot of map presence. Solar's being an operator right now to find all those drones that normally would be an issue for the roamers. Not a problem anymore. So, yeah, Lowe's on the basement bomb side, but they also did so in a very, quote-unquote, easy way. They had that great roam, shut down the intel, and the bomb site was fortified. So it's only gonna get harder from here, I think.
I tend to agree with you as well, though. See some more blitz play like we saw from STK. Maybe you'll have a bit of an easier time.
I would like that.
I mean, I would like it too. Always makes for a bit more of an interesting game when you just see a blitz walk in, immediately confidently take a bit of map control. I'd be totally down with that if Miners have that in the cards for us, but with how much utility is placed on and around this top floor, I mean, castle barricades, not just the reinforcements, but mute jammers, electric claws, and Valkyries to allow for a good roam. There's a lot from Los that can be applied to a wide variety of attacks that Miners might bring out, but that's the benefit of a blitz, right? I say all that, and then a blitz might just sprint past it and kill two people. That's kind of the benefit of the operator.
Oh, absolutely, and I think you can just get that off-pace play because the blitz doesn't need a lot of setup. So you can just say, okay, we want to go now, let's go now. Without a shield operator, without a blitz, you just need to clear out the barbed wire, the default camera, and you gotta worry about all these like different things like crossfires and verticality. No, blitz just runs through, simplifies the process. Thatcher, of course, works in union with the third meta of Falsetto. That's going to guarantee the wall being opened up. We double EMP in case of a kite trick. Not necessarily necessary, because the exothermic charge is quicker than a kite claw.
Oh!
There's the Blitz! The Twitch zapped the jammer right as the Blitz ran to the door, which will then enable the gadget to work. Because mid jammers, they do jam out with this gadget. There's a nice bit of team coordination with Nitrous Miners, but unfortunately, doesn't lead to any kills.
And to be fair, I don't really blame STK for backing off a one-on-one with a shotgun when you're like 1 meter away. Honestly, fair. Even though you have the shield, I just wouldn't want to bet that. Especially given the shotgun buff. If you shoot my big toe, I might still die at this point, so I'll just have to see. Most do still have control over that Aqua position, and still control the garage as well. Both teams, it seems, very slow in acquiring the necessary control to facilitate and execute on the second floor. For Los, the big part was garage, always taking a long time, despite it being effectively given to them to move in. This time, Miners aren't really concerned about garage, but the Aqua push didn't work out. It's still actively being held by Dots. And while they've opened up the terrace wall from the outside, nowhere else do they have an easy way in.
These Kesel barricades are a big problem for Falsetto because he can't deal with them. He's got to punch them out and spend so much time and effort. But look at this. They're just waiting. They need this intel to set out and Blitz can go on in. There's no jammer this time, so again, mute. Oh, you're done.
Oh!
What?
He's pre-placed a C4, and the moment the Blitz ran in, he's got Dash to back him up! Or Dash, excuse me, I mixed Dash and Dots, but they're working in tandem. They might as well be the same person with how well coordinated that was. Case dropped on the floor, right outside of IT. Difficult spot, difficult 5v2 for Miners, now 5v1 to work their way out of with how hard they've been choked out of the bomb site. Must keep their lead.
That is a defense and a half right there.
That is.
I mean, I love the Blitz. Again, like, if that's a Blitz running in, much more fun than a gun, right? But the outcome is just hilarious because Blitz gets the injure, but the injured player of Mute also gets his C4 off at the very last millisecond and then injures/kills the Blitz. It comes down to who has more people helping them. And it was Los that rotated it correctly. They had backup there. Dash and Dots, as you pointed out, they were there to save the round and ensure that, Aqua essentially wouldn't be sacrificed to the opponent's side. Garage wasn't a bit pressure point at all for the attacks. Bit of a puzzling round, to be honest. But again, if you got the Blitz, you don't have to go for those default style executes. You can change things up. And I think it was a great attempt, just not a great execute.
You could see the pieces lined up. You could see where they were supposed to go. You could map it all out. So it wasn't that, there was some level of incoherence from Los. It's just, again, or some incoherence from Miners, excuse me, but the defense from Los, you could also exactly see, all right, that's how this position denies what Miners want to do. This is how this position denies this kind of push. It was all very plain between both teams, how it was going to pan out. And it just always seemed to be coming up Miners a little bit more than it did Los in all those calculations. Now, of course, with the defense winning that upstairs bomb site, there you go, Nick. You get your kitchen and cafe. We have not seen cargo yet from Los, so maybe they won't play all 4 bomb sites. But we have seen all 4 bomb sites played in this matchup.
I like that. Gonna
Shout
see
out.
how they end up. Yeah, shout out. Thank you very much. So, win conditions for kitchen, Carter. What are we looking at here? What should we expect from Nitrous Miners?
My opinion, so I was going to actually talk about this earlier, but I was like, it's not pertinent right now. I'll talk about it when we see kitchen, and we actually do see kitchen, so I do get to talk about it. You mentioned that this is probably the site that, like, I don't remember your exact wording, but you were like, it's either the easiest or it's the most logical for the defense to kind of roam or, like, extend onto the top floor. And I don't remember your wording, but I would generally agree with that. Because what we've seen a lot in this matchup so far is loose roams, but no real hard extensions. This site is kind of the exception to that rule, because you can, given the importance of the area and how little distance there is between the two, you can hold meeting and kind of the upstairs lobby stairs position very hard. But at the same time, if that position falls, it's really easy for the attack to then open up cafe wall and get a bomb down, especially if there's an OSA on board. So it's almost like kind of border in a way where, like, if the defense gets a lead, it's very easy to keep it. But if the attack gets a lead, it's very easy for them to follow up and then win the round.
Okay. Makes good sense. But, oh, look at that.
Well, there you go.
It's gonna be the defenders getting that lead, and they should be able to hold on to that. And we see them again here. Immediately, they fall back. They reinforce the walls. I think you hit the nail on the head right here, Carter, because they are just consolidating on the bomb side, saying, we'll take this 5v4. Good luck, have fun, Nitrous Miners.
I will say, ironically enough, if there was some hard breach denial, they could stall even more time, but no hard breach denial, despite no Thatcher. But then again, The attack gets the advantage of repick, the defense does not. So no fault to Los on that one for maybe just deciding, let's bring something useful and not risk having it get EMP'd. This is the benefit of Ram, of course. He's opened up just one small rotate hole in the wall. It can now... well, hold up. Wait a minute. Let's give him a couple chances. Now he can, in theory, open up the entirety of meeting. All right,
oh,
Midi. That's... the way I would slam my desk if that happened to me.
Like, Mater just standing there kind of teabagging, reloading, me like, yeah, I messed up, just dies.
You've spent so much time trying to put down that second auto breacher because of the stupid rotate, and you fix it and you die. That I'd be so angry.
Oh, he doesn't even get it off. That's unfortunate.
Well, SDK,
it's just on the ground. It's just standing there.
It's just a monument. Oh, minor. I was gonna say Miner's failures, and Eskin will be reminded of it. Echoes of the past, but in the very present, Los don't have the advantage they did a little bit ago. In fact, it's been entirely erased. Eskin on those Talon Shields been able to find 2 different kills, and now Bassetto finds another. Dot's just caught rotating in the sight. All of that seemed to be lined up for Los to win, and then they throw away a few key gunfights, and suddenly Miners have the lead again.
Can we even say that they threw a couple of key gunfights? Because I don't think it was 2 different enemies shooting at one another. It was literally Los running away or moving around, getting shot in the back. I didn't really see or hear gunfights occurring, and it's very puzzling because when you have 5 members up against 3, you have guns to cover every single door, angle, etc. You still got default cameras, still got gadgets being laid down, and yet there are no gunfights. They just all kind of die and roll over. That's very puzzling. I'm a bit worried because I didn't see exactly what happened as we were spectating, various members when they're dying, but it seemed like that shouldn't be possible to begin with.
Well, and especially positions like we just saw the Warden turn his back.
Yeah.
The Thermite's been on that window the entire round, and they had someone playing up on the stove, holding that angle where you can see the top of the window because they knew someone was there, and he just ends up turning his back to it. Very puzzling individual decisions. And just to remind everyone, now as both teams have taken their time out, Los the second one to do so now that they're down 4-5. This game means nothing for Miners. They are 0-3. They cannot make deciders. Everything is, if they want a chance of going to the major, they have to go to open quals, and that's already been decided. This is Los's game to lose, and if they lose it, they're also not going to playoffs. So if Miners get an upset here, their fate doesn't change whatsoever, but Los's fate is entirely decided if they end up losing in regulation right here. So match point, 7-4, whatever it is, Los need to start picking up the pace because they might lose to a team who literally has nothing to lose or gain from this matchup.
Oh, as a former player myself, I hate to be in those positions because you're always going to think, okay, these guys are done for. Let's use Miners, right? As you said, they have nothing to play for. They might just run us down. They have no pressure. They have no stress. They don't care about this game, quote unquote care, right? And you're always thinking that's hard to play against because playing against a team with nothing to lose, that's dangerous. They're unexpected, or rather they are hard to predict. So currently, Nature's Miners, they're doing well for themselves. They got the round lead. They forced the technical timeout from Los. And Los are kind of keeping things the same. And this is the danger. When you're shown your 3 primary bomb sites and how you play them, and you go there for the second rotation, which is now, and you don't change anything up, well, the attackers are going to know exactly what you're going to be doing reinforcements-wise, where the softballs are going to be, and maybe like if you're roaming or not. So Nature's Miners, they should have a good read on what's going to happen in this round. It might just be defined by the individual gunfights and decision-making of the players, like Lobin on this active on Solus. You know where the drones are, where those players are joining from, but he has to get assistance in these gunfights, which is simply make a hero play himself.
And with the pace Miners and Los have set so far, if we just repeat the rotation we just saw, we would end up going to overtime. So Miners need to overperform given precedent on one of these bomb sites to then make a regulation victory. All that much more likely. You might see it here. For some reason, I thought that was an attacker, and I got really confused for a second. But no, it's just Lobin. It's just Lobin and Dash on the top floor, hanging out, chilling on Aqua Stairs. Hey, you see anybody? No, I don't see anybody. All clear over here. Just having a good time. But now, one of them spotted. Inox Scanner from Midi has spotted the Solus over by Aqua and now rotating down the stairs. It hasn't revealed Dash's position, though. So they might know the Solus, but Dash might not be known about.
Tough position. It's a bit of a guessing game here. Drones, very few left, only 4, and Well, attackers, they got Jackal on board as well, so defenders gotta be cautious of where they go if they get found out. But no, it's Cameraman
Nice.
getting a great kill into STK, and that's gonna make the attack that much more difficult because they're losing those very valuable key spots in the roam clear.
Los in a decent spot now, even this 5-5, as everyone from Miners still playing a guessing game as to where these defenders are. Won't have to worry too much longer. Almost everyone is back down to the bomb side, except good old Lobin. Maybe Dash 2. Oh, no. I got ahead of myself. These two, the Aqua Buddies, they are very much still in play. They have not left this spot the entirety of the round, and somehow Miners are still left guessing where they could possibly be. Lobin and Dash seem to shut the book on this one. Now Levy's position is known on the cargo stairs. He moves down, walks into 2 different goo mines, flawless from Los, and we're tied up again.
Aqua buddies?
They're literally on. They're on Aqua. They're hanging out together the entire time.
Yeah.
I thought it was very cute and very endearing.
No, I love that. I love the Aqua Buddies call. That made my day entirely. I mean, they did great work. They didn't even lose a member. It's the second flawless round within the last 3 rounds here from Lowe's. And the only issue they're really faced with right now is inconsistency problems. They do really well in a puzzling round loss in kitchen. Then they do it really well again. And then if that pattern follows, we're going to see a very puzzling round on cargo.
Hold up, I was about to say.
All 4 bomb sites.
I was going to say, I want to let you finish, but look at this. Los have treated us to all 4 bomb sites. And we're getting some more than once, too. Yeah. I got to say, for my, what is it, my 6th, my 7th? I don't remember how many it's been. They're all starting to blend together. I've casted this map so often this week. But I will say, it is nice to see all 4 bomb sites played in a given matchup. Very surprising treat today that I will be very thankful to Los and Miners for giving it to me. However, at this point, whoever wins this next round will be on match point and within striking distance of a regulation victory. And if Los happen to be in the 5-6 side of that and not the 6-5, it's going to feel significantly worse for them, despite it being cool we get all 4 bomb sites. That really won't matter if they end up having to go to overtime.
That's good. Good point, yeah. Players won't care about bomb sites, they just want to win these rounds. And if Parker was here, he would say, "This is my favorite round of Rainbow Six Siege because no matter what,
it's the penultimate round."
Someone goes to match point.
I literally,
always says it.
You said it's Parker's favorite round, and literally it was like a voice. There was like a soundboard playing in my head. I was like, no matter who wins, no, somebody will get match point. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not how Parker sounds at all. I don't know why.
It's a fair point because it's true, right? It's exciting and, things are, moving along. But for this game, Lowe's, they have something to gain from winning. And it's just Miners, besides the participation medal of being like, okay, they won a map. They don't have anything in terms of standings or placements to gain from this. So Lowe's, they really want this. They're all so close, but yet so far as well. It's another cautious attack and start from Nature's Miners. They're really cautious here not to lose the opening kill because they've been kind of struggling in that department on some of these rounds where Lowe's just catches them off guard. Then they play that 4v5. Aceto actually bring out the Finka in this round. Not with the Blitz though. I don't see Finka's play rate being all that high these days since he lost the frag grenades.
Yeah. Don't see too much Finka anymore. And again, have we really seen anything from Miners in this round? I gotta say, I mean, we've kind of just been hanging out, chilling for a minute 45, but I think some of the breaches have been open. Maya certainly, not Maya, excuse me. Just took an orange operator for an orange operator. Levy has used all his exothermics. All right, there we go. I was, my bad. That's on me. I unfortunately gave away Dots' position given that. And now, 5v4. Aceto has found his way into cargo, putting the bomb down. Lobin, you know about it. Can you stop it? Lobin, can you stop it? No, he can't. Flawless round from Miners. They find themselves on match point, and it might just be Jover for Los 1.
I mean, it looks like Nature's Miners pulled a Los in that round. They just kind of snuck into the bomb site, started planting, and yeah, the Solas figured it out, but a missed impact grenade that was very ugly at that. Doesn't find the planter at all, and the cover was there from Nature's Miners. It was actually very calculated from them. They had every single aspect covered in that round to guarantee the plant going down, and they won every single gunfight that they were faced with. An impressive round at that, and it forces at least overtime for them. If not, a regulation win 7-5.
Now to be fair, if Los can get to overtime, it's not over for them. It's just the regulation win. That is what will spell the end for their playoff chances. If I have the numbers correctly. Somebody gets Sprbunny on the line to fact check me. But either way.
What was your exact question, sorry?
No, I was gonna say we could get Sprbunny on the line. That was a joke, but I was like, I'm pretty sure if
Los
get the overtime, we're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sprbunny just wrote in Discord, he was like Dragons are confirmed top 3 from this. From Nature's Minus in 6 rounds.
Well.
So Sprbunny has been on the case already, in a different department.
I was about to say. Not the question I asked, Nick, but
nope.
It's fine. Miners at this point, 1 round away from an early dinner. Very high stakes at the moment. But honestly, if you're Los, like I said, very high stakes. Your playoff chances might end in 1 round. The Miners are looking to put a very decisive end to it. C4 goes out. Oh, but he doesn't die. That might not end up mattering, but as he is down, look at the player going to finish him off. Ace is baiting this kill. Levy's found the first. Maya cut down. The shotgun player, Dots knows that he can't peek this. It's too risky. They'll use the C4 instead and finish the blitz off. That has used both C4s for Los, and it's only allowing them to equalize the man count, even though they are taking out an operator that Netshoes Miners do love to play.
I do think it's a good trade though, because the blitz has been the massive pain point for Los. It's the main push from Netshoes Miners. It's the person who's instigating those fights. It's STK on 8 kills. So yeah, 2 C4s. Yeah, you lose Maya as well, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and it's gonna make the attack more difficult. Wall not being opened up just yet. Netshoes Miners had a priority elsewhere. First on Aqua side of things, and the Goo Mine actually was the big issue for them. It slowed down the blitz enough to ensure that C4 got the injure. As I believe, without that slow from the Goo Mine, he would have gotten away full health, as he would have turned the corner when the C4 was.
It's the little things that end up mattering, especially on round 12. Most importantly, though, with that blitz down, we've seen what Dots can do in this position, especially if Dash is providing support. Miners have maybe made a calculated decision to try and take things from the opposite side, given that fact. Pushing from generator, excuse me. Pushing from the east side of the map. Here's this impact trick I was talking about earlier. Doesn't get both Selmas, unfortunately.
Oh.
Good heads-up play from Miners there. Put 1 on each side of the wall, so you still have at least 1 angle into the bomb site. Both are not erased.
And the small things, that impact trick denies the Selma. That's another way that they cannot into the bomb site with, but it does go through for a vault hold at least. It's gonna come down to gunfights. Los, they got the positions locked and loaded. It's up to Netshoes Miners to break this defense apart and win that initial engagement. And this drone out here getting valuable intel on the side.
Valuable intel, but it doesn't matter if you can't act off of it. Cameraman still has an angle on that connector breach, but somebody's worked their way in. There's intel on him from down below, so Loban maybe could deny this, even with no impacts in pocket, but the kills are all going Miners' way. Dots has got to get active. He'll swing the sledge, but it completely fails. But Loban's down below. He's got intel. Can he deny it? The shots land. Oh, but there's someone to deal with him. It doesn't matter a single bit for Miners as their fate is decided, but they win 7-5 anyway. And it's all over for Los.
Oh, sometimes it's about sending a message and, of course, getting that valuable experience and just simply saying, you know what, we're not that bad of a team as you might think we are. In our predictions, you are taking over power today, Carter, and you predicted Netshoes Miners to try and ruin his score, but you have made him the only person correct among the talent today.
What can I say? Even when I lose, I win.